All right, so good morning, everyone, or good day. I'm here today with a special presentation for our Katie Career Talks. We have Mr. Jason Taylor. He's a filmmaker, and he's going to tell you more, and we're going to learn more about him from our fabulous interviewee, Miss Star and Kamiri. All you, Star.
Okay, so the first question we have is why did you choose your career major?
And Mr. Taylor, you are on mute.
Okay, now I'm not. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. We can't be, we're going to start over. We're going to
Gotcha.
start over. And Star, you might need to also turn your camera off when you ask the questions, just so that we maybe hear it a little bit clearer. Let's see. Let's try it. Go for it.
Can you hear me better?
No, I don't think it's not that then. You're fine. You can leave your camera on. You're fine. Go ahead. You're also on mute though. Marissa, what's wrong?
Okay, let's go with Favor. Favor, can you start with the question?
All right, so the first question is, was your current career your dream? Why did you pick your career or major?
I've always been a storyteller, and I even discussed this when I was updating my bio yesterday. But for me, I love storytelling. I love creating films, and I just love the fact that I can create things with characters that look just like me. That's the best thing I can ever tell you. There's so many different shows and films that have people that look like us. And sometimes you don't ever get to fully understand, that story. Or, when you think of, let's say, a psychological thriller, you'll have that category, that genre is done by a lot of people, but it doesn't do well. So I've always wanted to see my character, people that look like me in projects. So that's literally how I started.
The next question is, was your current career your dream career when you were in high school? And when did you start to see your current career as something you could pursue?
Actually, my current career was not my dream career in high school. Believe it or not, my career in high school is actually wanting to be a rapper, ironically. And I did really well. And I was doing it up until I was in college. I started doing it in my sophomore year of high school, and I stopped. I was a sophomore in 2001, and I went all the way until 2009, and I did a lot between that time. But that wasn't my career goal in high school. Filmmaking wasn't. But I started to work on films and television after I was an intern at BET. As soon as I was there, and I started walking around and looking at everything going on, and looking at the shows they had, and looking at the way the office was, and looking at people working, I was like, okay, this is exactly where I want to be. And that's exactly when I decided that I was going to work on film and television. And ironically, it came a year after I stopped rapping.
So could you tell us the general salary for someone in your position or career that is looking to pursue it?
Yeah, the salary ranges. It depends on your level, I'm guessing. So basically you'll have indie film, because I'm a writer and a director. So, depending on the direction you take, because granted, yes, I could be a writer and director when I do my own indie projects and my own independent things where it's just me. But I also can, be a writer or director for another person's project. And really it depends on the person's budget. But realistically, your salary can go anywhere between, on a daily rate, because that's what a lot of people work on. You could probably make about almost $1,500 a day, between $750 to $1,500 a day. And the greatest thing is, let's say you're on a 12-day shoot, multiply that number by 12, That's what you get. And then on top of that, as a writer or director, you want to work on figuring out how to make money after the film is done. So then you'll have the point system where people are like, well, I'm looking for a certain percentage of the budget, and I'm also looking for a certain percentage of the profits. So a quick story, if you guys remember the movie Batman Returns, and the original Batman with Jack Nicholson was the Joker, he got paid $6 million to be on the movie, but got paid over $50 million after the movie was made, because he wasn't worried about how much he made on the film. He was worried about everything that came with it. So you know how big Batman is. He literally got $50 million to get that, and he wasn't even in the next two films. And it was all because he got a deal where he was able to get that money. So it's always great to learn the business aspect of it. But realistically, you can make between $750 to $1,500 a day. Work for 12 days. Some people are working for 24. Some people are working for 40 days. It just really depends on the person's budget. But as a director and a writer, you can range from there. If you are a WGA writer, you can make almost $2,400 in a month just doing what you're doing.
What was your career like before COVID-19 and how it changed?
My career was just getting started before COVID, and it was fun. You know, we had just finished filming a trailer for a show for one of my projects, and it was a lot of fun. And then COVID hit, the pandemic came, and I was able to sit myself down in a chair in the front of my computer, well, both of my computers, and I literally went from having 4 or 5 projects to now having 30 plus projects. And now I am working on packaging 6 of those television shows to get picked up by a TV network in the studio right now. I'm also looking for budgets for feature films, and I have a short film that I filmed last year that's out right now. So it was, I would say the pandemic was a blessing for me, because it really allowed me to put myself in a position. I call it the Great Reset, when Hollywood stood still, and it allowed people like me to catch up to people that I was looking to catch up to. And it really was helpful, because I got to do a whole lot. And just in the past 2.5 months, I've been able to meet a lot of people. So it was really great for me. I know it wasn't great for a lot of people, and I've also lost friends to COVID. But for me personally, it was professionally, it was great for me.
So, what motivates you to work in your career choice every day?
The fact that I get to do whatever I want. That's literally the best option ever. Nobody can tell me what to do, because I work for myself. If I want to film next week, I can film next week. If I want to film next week and then stop in the middle of it, then film after that, I can do that. But the greatest thing is I'm also able to give other people opportunities. And sometimes you'll get people who are just as hungry as you are, and they want to see you. They want to see themselves in a position where they can do something. And it's great that I'm in a position so that I can give them an opportunity. And I want to say, when I filmed my short film, and even when I filmed my series, I ended up having about 40 people on set. And out of the 40 people, 35 of them have never been on set before. And that's a big deal, because a lot of people are always looking to get this opportunity, but not a lot of people are actually willing to give it to them.
Next question is your workplace people oriented? And if so, how do you maintain good relationships with your coworkers and or colleagues?
They are great people. And my team is very dedicated to what I do. And I'm also dedicated to see them succeed. And we work really well together, because we know what the end goal is. We know what the end result is. We know that we are looking to get out there. We're looking to create our passion. We're looking to get something that we love to do and allow ourselves to get paid for it. But we also love to just be able to see our name in TV and film credits. So we work really, really well together. And it's great, because when you find people who are very, very hungry just like you are, or they're very passionate like you are, it's very easy to work with them, because a lot of people tend to talk about wanting to be something and wanting to do something, and a lot of people are just talk. And if you guys have ever heard that Janet Jackson song, is whatever have you done for me lately, um, that's exactly how it is. Like, I don't want people to just come and talk about something. Like, I'm like, okay, so can you actually do it? And everybody that I've tested to some degree, everybody that I've asked that question to, have been able to, and have gone above and beyond to really, really help me. And those are the same people that I have on my team right now. Some great, incredible people, all younger than me, of course, but all great people.
Do you see the value in students learning things that can help them prepare for the future? And what key points would you like the students to take away from your presentation?
You know, filmmaking is a very unique skill set. A lot of people, you guys are always filming. You guys always have your phones. You guys are always taking videos whenever you guys go places. Filmmaking is everywhere. It's a unique skill because a lot of people talk about wanting to do it. A lot of people feel like they can, but not a lot of people actually do it. And honestly, this is a great, great way to do it, because you can get in a position to where you're a network executive, and all you're doing is looking at people's projects to figure out if it's a good enough to go on TV. You can be in a position to where you're a casting director, and you're just making sure that the people that are going to be on the screen for the film are great people. So, like, I recently just met the casting director for Judas and the Black Messiah. I recently met the the casting director for the United States versus Billie Holiday, and they are great people, you know. And I think that's the greatest thing about that. You're great people. And I always say, if you start off in something and you get, you know, to that point where you feel like, okay, cool, I wonder if this is for me or not. The greatest thing I can tell you is sometimes what you do can lead you into the right direction, but who you are can really, really catapult you, because a lot of people's like, yo, this person is a really, really dope person, and I guarantee you he or she would be great at this. And the opportunity may lead you to exactly what it is that you want to do. I started off as a rapper, didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I ended up in film and television. And that's because, you know, I was blessed to just be able to meet certain people that really encourage me every single day. And when it comes to like school, like, granted, everybody's learning algebra and English and history and things of that nature. If you're going to be in filmmaking, that's the best thing to learn, because you want to be accurate and authentic when you tell these stories. So you can't tell a story about a guy who drives a milk truck, but he drives a Cadillac. You know good and well they ain't never been no milk guy that drives a Cadillac. But you'll be able to tell a story about who he is, how he operates, what kind of car he drives, when milkmen were even in existence, because there's not in existence now. You can literally go to the store and buy your own milk. But, you know, milkmen were at a certain time. So granted, you're not going to see them in like 2010. You're not going to see them in like 1986, but you'll probably see them like in the 50s and 60s. So you want to be culturally authentic and accurate. So school is always a great way to do it. English, of course, you got to learn how to write. Math, you got to be able to count your money. If you don't know math, you can't count your money. That's the greatest thing in the world I can tell you.
What encouraged you to give your presentation to us high school students?
This is my third year doing it. You know, my mom works at King Drew right now. And when she gave me the opportunity to do it the first time, I took it. And this is literally my third year doing it. And I'm grateful. You know, I think this is great because when I was in high school, I didn't have people come and talk to us. You know, there wasn't anybody that came and talked to me. I wasn't able to learn from people, from their experiences. I wasn't able to get inspired by somebody's career. You know, so I always said that if I had a chance to be in this position to talk to people, to talk to you guys, that's exactly what I was going to do. And like I said, I'm not telling you go into filmmaking. It's a great profession. It's a great career, but whatever it is that you do. Yeah. And I mean, what I'm telling you now is just geared toward my career field. But regardless of whatever career field you want to get into, really just be good people. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how far you want to go, you can't get as far as you can without the help of other people. And if you are a good person in general, people will bend their backs to make sure that you get, success. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to, be that voice, be a representative of just coming out here and talking to you guys, because like I said, I didn't have that for me. And I wish I had that. I've always wished I had that.
So did Katie prepare you for your career that you're taking part in?
I unfortunately did not go to King Drew, but my younger sister went there and she graduated, and my mom currently works there now. So I will say that KD has inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm actually grateful for that, because conversations with people like you guys are always great, and it always brings me to to remain humble. It always tells me, like, there are people who are out here that are really looking at you, at me, and I'm really just grateful that I love what I do and I'm able to talk about what I love to do. Because when you do what you love to do, it's not work. You don't wake up every day wanting to not do it. You're like, oh, okay, cool. What else can I do? What else can I do? I've literally had times where I've literally woken up out of my sleep to write on a whiteboard, because the ideas kept flooding my head. And I was like, I need to get this out before I go to sleep. But that's because I love what I do. No way in heck would I be getting out of my bed to go write on no whiteboard if I didn't love what I do. I love my sleep.
I believe this is the last question from us personally. But do you have any words of wisdom that you would like to share?
Yeah. I will tell you guys this. You guys are the next generation. No matter what you see on social media, no matter what you see on television, no matter what you read in the books, I'll tell you like this. You guys have the power to really change things the way they are. And when you were looking at all the protests that were happening, and if you guys were participating in that protest, I'm so glad that you guys were good. Get up and handle your morning prep. There you go. So my Alexa telling me what to do. See? But you guys saw those protests. You saw the power that the people had when they wanted their voice to be heard. And when you guys get into a position to where you guys are able to really vote and make your voice be heard politically, then I can tell you right now, things will start to change. And I'll be a fool to tell you that you're going to change everything. But the idea is the change that was started before me and the change that I'm initially looking to start now is going to trickle down to you guys. And that's the change that you guys are going to continue. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where we are the majority and we are the ones calling the shots, because there's been plenty of people, and you've seen it in your history books. There have been plenty of people that are in power that are very, very scared of us. And if we were to ever team up and really, really work together and collaborate and not compete and not talk bad about each other and not give each other heartache and not feel like, the next person is out to get me. Once we figure that part out and we realize that nobody's out to get us and that we are better and stronger together, you guys will definitely change everything that you need to change for the next generation to take over after you guys. So your little brothers and sisters who are under the age of 10 or, 5, 6, whatever the case is, they're coming after you guys and they're watching you now. And a lot of those kids are looking at you, and without realizing it, they're picking up your habits. You don't want to be in that position to where they pick up the habits and they go down the wrong path. And I will tell you, if you guys should know my mother, because my mother is Miss Taylor. She's in the I think she's in the main office. But yeah, that's my mother, and she's taught me a lot of the same things. So that's the same thing she taught me, I'm teaching you guys. All right, so let's see. I see. So questions. I'm gonna answer some questions that you guys have in the chat. The first question is who's your mom, Miss Taylor? The second one is what's the most memorable project that you've worked on? The most memorable project that I've worked on is actually also answering the next question. What's the name of your short film? It's called Validated Freedom. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can look it up. It's on YouTube right now. If you guys want to look it up, you guys can. It's called Validated Freedom. The project is really, really a great project because it's a silent film. And my older brother is the one that created all the music for it. And I took his music and I created a short film around it. It's about 20 minutes. We were able to get about almost 1,000 views in the first week. And now we're in film festivals for this project, and it's already been selected to 2. One film festival in Chicago and the other film festival in London. So we're waiting for the other film festivals that are coming now. But that's my favorite project right now. That's the best one I can tell you. So let's see. If anybody else has any other questions, please ask me anything. I'll tell you guys whatever it is you guys want to know. And please don't be shy. I know you guys have had enough of the Zoom chats and the Zoom calls for school. I already know. Trust me. I'm in front of the Zoom almost every other day having meetings. I had 3 yesterday and I have another 4 today. So that's definitely something. How did I get my BET internship? You know what? I got it from Twitter. I didn't know what the heck Twitter was when I first got it, but something told me to just answer it. I did, and I was able to go into the office and interview, and I knew nothing about film and television, but I was like, I'll give this a shot. And I did, and they selected me, and the greatest thing is I was able to be there for 4 years, and I was able to work the BET Awards. I was able to work the BET Experience. I've met countless people just walking in and out of the offices, and it really helped me just figure out who I can do. So I'm grateful for that. Okay, let me see. What's my favorite genre in filmmaking? My favorite genre is drama. I love drama. Not necessarily the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink Crew type of drama, even though that's in there. But no, I love drama. And I'm actually working on 6 television shows, and they're all dramas, different types of dramas, but it's all dramas. So I love that. I just love, dramas. I love comedies, but I write dramas myself. Let me see. Okay. So if you want to be in a movie or you want to be part of one, you can definitely do that. And I'm always casting for different projects. So I will tell you this: if you are serious about getting into acting or getting into filmmaking, and you are really interested in it, I'm gonna drop my email address. What I want you to do is I want you to email me, because I have a program right now where I am working with somebody. Her name is Cheryl L. Bedford, and she is in charge of a group called Women of Color Unite. And what I'm doing is I am working with her to partner up the young girls to get mentors, to learn about what it is to be in not just filmmaking, but just in production and entertainment. So some of these mentors that you will be getting, the young girls who you guys will be getting, are Emmy award-winning, directors, people who run production companies, people who are big-time actors and publicists and casting directors. It just really depends on the direction that you want to go. And for the young guys, I have some projects where I need help on set. And it's great because, I think I can really help you guys as much as I possibly can. And if you need to do anything at that point, then I can also get you mentors as well. And that'll be the best thing I can do for you guys. So I'm going to drop my email address. And what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to put in the subject line that you guys are from this career talk. So I know where you came from, because I'm on Clubhouse all the time and I'm getting tons and tons of emails from people. And I want to be able to separate it. I don't want to overlook it. So I'm gonna drop my email. I'm gonna drop my email address in there for you guys, and you guys can get it. And then from there, I want you guys to email me and make sure that you put it in the subject line that you guys are going to do, that you guys are from the career talk, so I can do that. So the next question, is the industry as bad as people that leave say it is? Yes and no. It is bad because they're not allowing us to be able to come out and tell our stories and direct our stories and write them. But it's not as bad as people think. And the reason why I can say that is because if it was, I would not be doing it. And also the greatest thing is, because of the fact that you are on Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and cable, that you see so many different stories that are now seen. You see people like us in there. That just proves that things are getting better. Will they be completely great? I wouldn't say that, but it is definitely getting better. I know you guys have seen television and you're seeing more characters. Heck, you got a black Batgirl. When has Batman or anybody in Batman ever been black? None. They're even working on superheroes with a Latin lead. You know, it's getting better, and it's gradually going to get better. We just got to keep going. It's gradually getting better. I will say that. So that's the greatest thing I can tell you. Let me see. What's the next question? How did I learn to screenwrite? What does the brainstorming process look like? I'll treat y'all to an inside look as far as how everything is. Because when it comes to screenwriting, I use these whiteboards to save my life. So if you guys can see, I'll show you. Hold on. So if you guys can see this board right here, this is literally all of my projects and who I'm going to be presenting them to, and budgets and everything that I need to write. I even have a TV schedule on things to study. And then when it comes to like my brain, it comes out like this. I just literally write stuff down and work it out in my head. And then I work it out for the story. And then as soon as it's done, then I create it into a form where I can, it's called the one sheet treatment. There's a one page is talking about what my entire project is about. Then I put the pitch decks together. And then from there, that's exactly what I do. But that's pretty much my process. I just write. And the whole list of questions I wrote at like 1 o'clock in the morning when I was about to go to sleep. Sometimes the thoughts come at 1 o'clock in the morning, they come at 10 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes they come at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It just really depends. But that's the way my brain works. And it's great. Okay. Let's see. Do you have a specific place you do all of your work at, like a specific location? I used to go to coffee shops. all the time. And then when they closed down, I just stayed at home. And now I got whiteboards everywhere. I can't take my whiteboards to the coffee shop. They're gonna look at me like, you crazy. You and your whiteboards need to leave. But me, I can keep my whiteboards here and do all my work here. And it's great. I don't ever have to leave my room. I got whiteboards, I got snacks, I got a TV, I got a PlayStation. I'm good to go. I ain't gotta worry about none of that. I ain't gotta leave. All I need is a mini fridge, and I ain't never leaving my room. Well, maybe to play basketball. I got a basketball court outside. That's about it. Let's see. Next one. Have you ever pitched to any big networks? I haven't yet, but I've been in a room before. And I know what the pitch process is like. It's interesting to know. And I'll tell you like this. If they have too many questions, they're not interested. If they don't have any questions, they're not interested. If their questions are not relevant to how to make the project happen, they're not interested. But the moment that they're asking, let's say you go and pitch a show and they're like, okay, so who do you think would be great as this actor or this actress? Or how many locations do you think it'll take to shoot? Or what is your budget? How much do you think this will cost? When they start asking questions like that, then they're interested. Then they're like, all right, what else can I do to help bring this to surface? And I think that's important to know, because a lot of people these days, they'll say, yeah, we want this show, we want that show, we want this type of show, we want that type of show. And you bring it to the table like, nah, I don't want it. Nah, I don't want it anymore. I already have something like that. And, but I will tell you like this, and this is the one thing I learned about pitching anything, regardless of it's film, television, regardless of what career, always pitch you first and then pitch your project second. Because if you do that, they get to know you, regardless of how well your project is, they'll want to work with you. And that's what you want to do. Because I learned that. And ever since I learned that, I've been the greatest person in the world. Because all these people are the ones that are going to give me checks. So I want them to give me some checks. I want to be a great person. I'm trying to make my money. You know how that goes. Let's see. What's the next question? The LED lights give you inspiration? Yes, they do. Yes, they absolutely, totally do. And I don't think I ever turn them off. And depending on the mood I'm in, that's the color I put on. I like blue. So I just leave it on blue. But when I want to paint it, like when I want to light up my painting of Black Panther, then I put on like the Black Panther colors. But that's the only time that's definitely something I enjoy doing. I love LED lights. They're the best thing in the world, especially at night. I ain't got to worry about no lamps or nothing. Let's see. Next question. When you're pitching to someone, do you have any say in who plays the roles? Good question. And yes and no. If I am self-producing it, if I am going to be the one putting all the money to it, then I have every right to say who I want to play in these roles, especially if I have the money to pay them. So like for one of my projects I'm working on right now is a feature film. I'm looking to cast Jay Ellis. And if you guys know who Jay Ellis is, he is Lawrence on Insecure. I'm looking to cast him for a project. And, to get him, I have to make sure that I have enough money to pay him so that he can do it. But if I'm working on a project myself, I can go and get him. Let's say I were to take that same project to a network. They may have people that they're interested in outside of Jay Ellis that they can see playing the role. And at that point, if I say, yeah, let's work a deal out, whatever they decide to do is whatever they decide to do. I can't do nothing about it. I can suggest people, but I can't tell them who to cast. I can't be like, I want Halle Berry, I want Jamie Foxx, I want Denzel Washington. All right, this is what I'm gonna get. And they were like, no, and really, no, you're not gonna ever get Denzel. So it just really depends on like my stance on it. So I can do it if I want to, but it just depends on that. I can do that, but it's going to be fun to see that because I'm really working on getting mine together. So the next question is, what is the thing that gives you the most inspiration for writing stories? My childhood. My childhood is the one thing that gives me the most inspiration for writing stories. I've grown up watching superheroes. I'm a big nerd. I still have Pokemon cards. Don't know why. I still have comic books. I'm a big advocate for Marvel movies. I love DC. I love superheroes. I love monsters and ghouls and all that stuff. But the one thing I never seen is people that look like me. Things that I wanted to see when I was a kid. And now I get to create it. So my childhood is my biggest inspiration for writing stories. Next question is, how did you determine which influence were more beneficial to you for getting and staying in your field? That's a really, really good question. And the one thing I will tell you is I just determined it by talking to people. I had conversations and I got to know who they are. And you could tell a lot about a person after, once you have a conversation with them. I think a lot of people that you run into, they love talking about what they can do or what they did, but they never talk about who they are. Honestly, if you have a conversation with somebody and the first few things out of their mouth is, oh yeah, I got a rap career and I work here and I'm about to make me a whole lot of money and I got a car. It's like, okay, you lack substance. And I think at that point you can tell what kind of life they live. But if they can tell you about who they are as a person when you first meet them, That says a lot, because they don't have to tell you that information. And I think that's always a great thing, to have conversations with people. So that's good. Next question is, have you had any bad experiences so far? Yes, I have. But I wouldn't call it a bad experience. I would call it a life lesson. And I'll tell you guys this deal. For one of my shows, that's really, really good, that I haven't sold yet, somebody offered me $9.75 million. And they wanted to purchase my show. They wanted to buy the rights to my show that they can produce it on their own. And I said no. And the reason why I said no is because it's not just me and my team. It's not me that I'm working on, it's my team as well. And the money wasn't enough to set my team up to do what they wanted to do. Now, $9.75 million is a whole lot of money, but all money ain't good money. And the idea that I have is great, and I don't want to be able to sell my idea. That's the reason why I always tell people, never sell your authenticity, because the thing that makes you you, nobody can take from you. Nobody can tell you a story except for you. So I definitely like pass on that, but I know more are coming. And now I'm in a position that I'm in now, where I'm able to sell my shows and movies. I'm working on budgets. So I'm happy. I think that's an incredible thing for me. So that's definitely not a bad experience, but it's definitely something that I learned. Do you ever take suggestions from anyone? I absolutely do. And if you guys have stories that you guys want to tell, I'm always eager to hear stories and to help you guys tell that story, regardless of it, whatever format you want to do it. If you want to do it in film, television, if you wanted to do it in as a book, I've definitely helped you guys, any way possible. So I do take suggestions from people. I just don't take bad ones, if that makes sense. And I'll guess there's no such thing as a bad suggestion if you're really passionate about what it is that you're doing. But if you guys are curious about that, please email me, and I'll definitely give you some more information and talk to you about that. Next question is, do you ever experience writer's block? Yes, I do. What do you do to overpass it? It's funny, I just keep writing. I don't stop writing. And the reason why I say I don't stop writing is because sometimes if you write like 25 things, 2 of those things may help you spark the idea where you can write the rest. People get this misconception that when you have writer's block, you got to stop writing and figure it out. No. If you get a chance to keep writing, because I have this thing called vomit writing. I know it sounds weird, but basically what I'm doing is I'm just writing for the sake of writing. I'm not even worried about what's going on the page. I'm not even worried about what it looks like. I'm just writing. And when I do that, that's when I start learning how to just operate with everything else that's going on. It's just, I just keep writing. That's definitely how I surpass it. I just keep writing. I don't stop writing at all. Let me see. Is there anything you recommend as high school students to do if you are interested in film and television? Yes. The one thing I recommend is learn as much as you possibly can. YouTube is a great place that you can go to search on, filmmaking process. You can learn a lot about what it takes to film a movie. You can learn what it takes to produce a movie. You can learn what it takes to direct a movie. You can learn what it takes to write a movie. And it also tells you what you can do as far as getting something for your project, getting people's eyes on it. That's something I recommend. I also recommend Masterclass, because that's always something that I've been looking at, and it's been great. You're literally getting advice from the professionals. And I think Issa Rae also has a masterclass now, and she teaches you how to put out your own show, your own content, and get it picked up by a major network. So that's always a great thing that you can do. And I think the other thing is just continue to read, continue to look it up. I know it sounds crazy. You're in school already and you're like, well, I got to read more. Look, YouTube videos saved my life. I probably have read one book in filmmaking, and I probably only read about 10 pages of it. I don't read books when it comes to film, but I'll watch a video all day long, and it'll teach me everything I need to learn about filmmaking. So if you're not a reader, go to YouTube, type it in, watch the video, call it a day. That's always another way you can do it too. Let me see, what else? We have any other questions? Would you ever consider making a movie based off of a book? I would. I definitely would. And that's actually the smartest thing to do if you're getting into filmmaking and you want to turn your book into a movie. That's the smartest thing you can do for yourself, because nobody can take your movie from you because you've already created a book. So that book belongs to you. So whatever comes from that book belongs to you as well. And that way you get a whole lot more money doing that, because there's a lot of people who are creating ideas, and you know, a lot of them are coming off books. And that seems to be the popular thing now too, is creating movies based off books. A lot of companies, a lot of Netflix is doing that. Hulu is doing that. A lot of people on Amazon Prime are doing that. A lot of independent filmmakers are doing that as well. So that's something that you definitely want to try to do. Is I'm definitely do that. I would love to do that. So if you have one, email me and I'll definitely talk to you about that. I think that's great. So if there's any more questions, I would love to answer them. But I will tell you guys this: you guys are incredibly awesome, and I know you guys are muted the whole time, but I've been swiping to check you guys out, and I'm appreciative of the fact that you guys are listening to me talk, because this is probably the most that I've ever talked in my entire life. And I'm grateful for the fact that you guys have allowed me to speak today. And if, like I said, I put my email address in there, so if you're really interested in learning more about acting or filmmaking, email me. In the subject line, please put KD Career Talks, and I would be able to really respond to you guys. I'll make sure I respond to you guys first before I respond to anybody else, because I'm actually currently working on 14 projects in total right now, and it's a whole lot of time. But the greatest thing is I'm just learning how to operate and balance everything. So if something that you guys want to know, even after this, email me. So I want to make sure that I answer your questions as well. And especially when it comes to getting into film and television, I'll give you some resources, some links, and I'll help you out as much as I possibly can.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Not a problem.
We truly appreciate you. And students, you can, if you would like to put your thank yous in the chat, that would be great. Or you can unmute yourself. That's fine too. But we thank you so much.
Unmute ourselves. Yeah, y'all talking. I want y'all to unmute yourself. Let me hear y'all. I know y'all tired of hearing people, but let me hear y'all. Let me hear y'all say something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say we practiced that. You can speak.
Yeah, I'm not some presentation on YouTube. You can actually speak to me.
Thank you for the info.
Filmmaking sound cool.
Wait, say that again.
I said that filmmaking sound